coming in. Tamil Nadu's power battle is entering its final phase. TVK chief Vijay will be the next chief minister because the governor has again called him. Governor wants the number. The TVK camp is saying that they have the numbers. Now CPI is supporting, Congress is supporting, and we are being believed that one more political party will support Vijay. Now Vijay's camp has received a major political boost because the sympathy is there. DMK is saying that the governor should call in immediately, call for action to form a government. He has given all those statements, the DMK. Now it's also very clear that this entire thing of DMK and ADMK was a red herring. It's not something they were thinking about. So in absence of anyone challenging Vijay's mandate, it is a clear thing that Vijay is the man of the moment. Now, Vijay will have his own challenges. Experience, partners, small partners, and two very important players, DMK and ADMK, with enough administrative and political experience to question him again and again, again and again and again and again. But right now, the bigger issue is what is happening in Tamil Nadu. The bigger issue is what is happening in Chennai. He is meeting the governor for the third time. And all these visuals which you see on the screen are coming from Chennai, various offices. Now let me straight away go to my guests, without wasting time. I am joined by Professor Mukund Padmanabhan, author and senior journalist, Advocate Sri Rajashekharan, political analyst, and Ramakrishnan Upadhyay, senior journalist. How are you, Mr. Upadhyay, after a long time, sir?
I know. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine. Let me straight away go to Professor Mukund Padmanabhan. Sir, this is the third time. Will he be lucky this time, or he'll be again sent back?
All of this is unconfirmed, but it looks like he has the support of the VCK, which is the other party that...
I purposely didn't name that party. I said CPI and one more party.
Yeah, well, even one more possibly beyond that. So it looks like he has the numbers. So as they say, there's no saying in politics, but it looks like, he's set to fall.
Let us analyze what happened in the last 24 hours, Professor. What I want to know from you is today, a lot of newspapers said that, DMK had the feelers from ADMK that, let's form the government together. What was happening? What was cooking in Chennai, sir?
There was a lot that was cooking, and it will now be very convenient for everyone to dismiss that as speculation and as something that didn't really happen. But I think the ADMK and the DMK did make a stab at trying to form a government. I think if you take the position adopted by at least three of the allies, small allies, the CPM, the CPI, and the VCK, all of them had said post-election that the TVK should be invited. And it's not very clear that whether they were going to be a party to this alternative government, which would have required, again, cobbling up numbers. It's not as if the ADMK and the DMK alone, or even if the PMK joined it, would have had enough numbers. So there was this issue. I think there were discussions around it, definitely. But I think, mercifully, we've reached a kind of position where I think in some way the will of the people will be reflected.
I think the will of the people, sir, is being reflected. TVK chief is meeting Governor Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar, and he's giving him the showed up support he has. I mean, say this is the third time, and I assume that this time there will be a formal notification from the governor's house saying that he has the number. I hope it happens because the guy has the mandate. Mr. Upadhyay, why did you think that Arlekar took so much of time, and there were precedents in Indian political history that people with parties with significant numbers falling short of majority were called, like Nitish Kumar, Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Why did he take so much of time? That's what I want to know from you, sir.
I think the governor has not acquitted himself well by delaying it by 48 hours. He could have avoided all this drama by simply inviting the leader of the largest party. I mean, he was by far the leading player in that, and just because they were about 8-10 short, he could have given them time, as always been the case, a week or 10 days time, to prove his majority. But the majority doesn't have to be shown in the Raj Bhavan or what is called now Lok Bhavan. I think it's a bizarre situation created by the governor, and now that all the other parties have come together and given their letters of support, you will have no other choice. But it is completely avoidable, and I think it puts the governor's office in very poor light. So it should have.
I completely agree with you, sir. That was very frank and a bebak statement from you, Mr. Rajsekharan. Finally, the guy is going to get his chance. Vijay ki Vijay. Can you unmute yourself, sir? Can you unmute yourself, Mr. Rajsekharan? I think there's a bit of an audio problem. So let me just take my viewers to the visuals. These are visuals that are coming in from Chennai. This is the third time, and that's the most important part. He met the governor twice, and this is the third time he's meeting the governor, and he has presented his numbers, staked the claim to form the government in the state. This marks his third consecutive meeting with the governor since the election results were declared on May 4th. The CPI, the CPIM and VCK, our sources are saying, CPI, CPIM and VCK have extended support to Vijay's TVK to help form the next government in Tamil Nadu. According to sources, with this, TVK has the number of 118 MLAs. Past the halfway mark, TVK has 107 MLAs, the Congress has 5, the VCK, CPI and CPM have 2 each. Now, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge also had held the meeting. Now, let me go back to Mr. Padmanabhan. Sir, it is going to be a wafer-thin majority. I mean to say, mandates can become casualty of numbers in the House, sir, if not properly managed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think just keep one thing in mind. When the Congress flipped, the DMK was pretty savage, called them backstabbers. They were very upset with what happened.
They don't want to sit with them in Lok Sabha.
They have, yes.
They don't want to sit with them in Lok Sabha. Karimoi has already written a letter.
They don't want to sit alongside them in Lok Sabha. The support that the CPM and CPI and the VCK have, demonstrated has not evoked this kind of reaction. And I think that's very significant. So we cannot rule out that this had either the tacit blessing or at least no objection from the DMK, which is the major ally. So if any of these parties feel tempted to continue playing the DMK tune, this will be something that will have a direct bearing on the stability of the government. Now, nobody wants an election now, and particularly the major Dravidian players. One of the truths that is not emphasized often enough is that money has been distributed, as it usually is in Tamil Nadu elections, to voters to influence their votes. And this is a terrible, deplorable practice. But it's interesting that Vijay's party didn't do this. So the other parties have already spent a lot of money in losing this election. So I don't think they'll be terribly keen to have another election. So, and Vijay is going to be the only beneficiary for a while if there is a sudden precipitate election. So there will be something of a, if you like, a sort of a stability because of the lack of an alternative for a while. How long it will hold is anybody's guess. Whether there will be, attritions from some other party at some stage later remains to be seen. But this is how it stands now.
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Rajsekharan?
Yes.
Okay, finally you are there with me. So,
Yes.
you were, yeah, I know in my previous show you had very vociferously argued for Vijay, someone who is very interested in the politics of Tamil Nadu. For me, this election was very, very, I would say, interesting. As a student of politics, it made me wake up to the reality that Indian political process has become different. It has broken into the old hierarchies of caste and social structure. People can look beyond it and vote for something what they like, something that happened in West Bengal or something that happened in Tamil Nadu, and they can give absolute numbers, absolute mandate to, I wouldn't use the word greenhorn, but people who have just come from outside, it's like outsiders are the new insiders of the politics. Mr. Rajsekharan.
Good evening to all in the panel and to yourselves. See, first and foremost, I follow the Indian Constitution. I obey the law. I am a responsible citizen of this country. I want the rule of law to be carried forward by anybody, be it Vijay or be it anybody. In this case, I vehemently and vociferously supported the Indian Constitution and the settled laws. When a party, a single largest party, it has to be invited to form the government. So here it is a classic case of the governor not allowing the single largest party or not inviting the single largest party, and in turn he started saying in a channel I just saw his interview that it may lead to horse trading. My point is, when you say the single largest party cannot be invited and you are giving an option of any other party comes to with the lower numbers, I am ready to give them a chance. This itself, you are just giving lead to horse trading. That's what I am trying to say. Though I am very kind to animals, but with due respect, I want to say this: the Constitution is followed, the rule of law is obeyed, and I appreciate finally the wisdom has prevailed on the governor of Tamil Nadu. And now I would like to congratulate...
Wisdom or political pressure or realization that there will be an outrage in the state?
No, I'll tell you, whichever, you can insinuate whatever you want.
No, I'm not insinuating. I'm sure there was an outrage there was an outrage.
Yes, fact of the matter, see, a governor has to go by the rule book and the constitution and the settled laws. In the cases of hung assembly and crisis like this. So this governor wanted to browbeat, or he wanted to show that he is obeying his masters, whoever it may be. Everybody knows who are the masters of this governor, and this should not be encouraged. And finally, wisdom and the outrage, everything put in a nutshell. The Vijay, the CM elect, has been invited, and he has got the numbers. By the way, I want to say one thing. He is now having 120 on his side.
But Mr. Rajsekharan, okay.
Euphoria
is one thing, but euphoria is one thing. Let me ask a question. Let me put a question. Mr. Upadhyay, I'll come to you. Achha, please, Mr. Upadhyay, you want to make a point suo moto, sir?
No, you see, my point is that he has the number now, 120. I think IUML also has come in. You see, these are the parties which have fought along with the DMK, and all of them have walked in.
Agreed.
See, that is what the politics is all about. And that being the case, why did the governor take so long? He could have just called those parties also to talk to them individually and find out what their views are, instead of just sending them away saying that you find the numbers. So, and also I think, see, the Congress has also not distinguished itself well, having fought the election along with the DMK and being the alliance partner for 40 odd years. They just slunk away from this thing. They didn't even have a chat with Stalin. They should have talked to him and said, look, you see, Stalin wouldn't have said, don't go. But look at the way they behaved. I mean, they just walked out of it. And then, I'm joining.
I spoke to both Karti Chidambaram and I spoke to Manikam Tagore. I spoke to my sources. There was a section, sir, within the Congress party who actually wanted to have an alliance with TVK. But the fact is that the people who were in charge, had a different say, or I would say a stronger say, like P. Chidambaram and Mallikarjun Kharge. They wanted to go with DMK. I mean, so whatever the reasons, but they were able to prevail and convince Rahul Gandhi. When I spoke to Karti Chidambaram, Karti said well, he was also of the opinion that there should have been some alliance. There should have been an understanding with TVK. But he said there was also another thing. There was no feedback from their own MLAs. There was no feedback from the ground saying let's break the alliance. And a lot of other political leaders whom I spoke to, they also said that if you wanted to distance yourself from DMK, then you should have done it 6 months ago, not just before the election. This is off the record conversation. I don't want to quote anyone. They said कि divorce करना है तो ground तो बनेगा ना. आप अदालत जाने से पहले ठीक रात को कैसे ground बना देंगे कि कल divorce लेना है?
I'm sure if they had gone together, probably they would have got 150 seats together. I mean, they would have ridden the popularity of Vijay, and Congress also would have got much more. They've also come down from 18 to 5. And at the end of it, at least, they should have had the courtesy to inform Stalin, look, this is the situation and what do we do? See, Stalin would have said, don't go. Now look at the embarrassing situation they find themselves in. DMK is asking for, separate seats from Congress in the parliament.
But why are you, Mr. Upadhyay, why are you surprised? The best example is in front of us. The most important or powerful or the best political shapeshifter of the Indian politics, Nitish Kumar. I mean to say, he did it twice. Took both BJP and Lalu's party into. They took them. He took both of them by surprise. So I think that's not the issue. The issue is, and I like to draw in Professor Padmanabhan here, sir. Don't you think that there were tensions between Congress and DMK? It's just that the Congress did not have the courage to break away.
I think your voice sort of went low. Did you say the Congress did not have the courage to break away?
Yes, the Congress did not have the courage to break away, but there was tension with DMK.
I think you're right in that Rahul Gandhi wanted an understanding with the TVK. But I think the truth is that at that particular time, nobody could have anticipated such a sterling performance. I mean, if they were even half aware that Vijay could bag something like 108 seat on his own, they would have jumped ship long back. So I think the real reason is less to do with being scared or having been attached in some way to the DMK. It is just a complete misreading of the situation, and I don't blame them for misreading it. A lot of sort of pretty high-powered journalists and media people and others, and probably some people within Vijay's party itself, misread, how well he would do. So I think that's essentially
why was it misread? In introspect, let's introspect about it. What did the parties didn't get right? I mean to say,
if you look at the kind of coverage in Tamil Nadu,
sir,
and you juxtapose that against the massive crowds that he collected.
Sir.
I mean, this was electric, the kind of crowds that he collected. I mean, I happened to go down one route where he was coming, and there were people waiting in the sun for hours for him. And this was pretty much everywhere. But I think we have, and I've written about this, that there is a media ecosystem in Tamil Nadu, which is somewhat or very tilted towards the DMK. And I think the national media feeds off the local media or gets its information from the media. And as a result, I think, there was a gross underestimation of how he'd do. And I wouldn't be surprised if opinion pollsters were influenced by this as well. Because it was clear it was happening on the ground. I mean, anecdotally, the people I was talking to, all around, were saying that, I voted last time for ADMK, this time it's Vijay. DMK last time, this time it's Vijay.
So can you hold your thought for a minute? Let's just cut to a live bite that is coming from the Chennai.
It is our democratic duty. This is people democracy. We will stand with democracy. we will stand with people. Okay.
The bites that are coming, I mean to say, Mr. Padmanabhan, these are leaders. These are leaders, office bearers. You know, VCK supporters who were speaking. Please complete your.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason why it got underestimated, essentially, and so underestimated by many people. I think on your program, or not your program, on your TV channel, I was with a couple of political analysts. One of them said not more than 5 to 7 seats. Another one said Vijay would lose both his constituencies, and I don't blame them. Everyone can get an election wrong. But I think the reasons why so many of us, and including me, I couldn't predict the extent of this sweep. I mean, I certainly thought he would do better than what a lot of people said he would, but I didn't predict 100 seats. And I think the reason why we didn't do this needs to be assessed. And I think maybe a little more, a little less confirmation bias, a little less ideology coming into when it comes to assessing who's doing what is very, very necessary when you try to analyze an election. I mean, I'm not saying for a moment that I got this.
Oh, that is being brutally frank. Mr. Rajshekharan, I couldn't agree more, because in so many debates I have hosted on Tamil Nadu, not one person, not one senior analyst said that Vijay is the person. Not one.
Kartigai, I totally concede. I completely agree with senior journalist Mukund Padmanabhan, because me being a citizen residing in Chennai city, I'm not a cephalogist.